MicxSic. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Filipino, Irish descent. Father was in the military, so I lived everywhere, but Virginia most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you were born in Virginia?
I was born in Subic Bay in the Philippines.
Okay, but that's on base. It was on base?
Right.
So like American soil type of thing?
Right.
Uh-huh.
American Naval Base. And I was only there for like a few months, and then we moved to San Diego. Was there for a little bit, survived an earthquake.
Okay.
And then went to New York, where my father's from. My father's from Brooklyn. And But at that time, when we went back, he was in Long Island, so he was in Long Island for a little bit. Did a little bouncing around. Eventually, Virginia was the mainstay for most of my childhood.
Did he retire while you were living in Virginia?
Well, he retired in Vallejo, California.
Okay.
So we was there for, a few years, junior high and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
He retired there, and then he wanted to, get settled in. So he liked Virginia, went back to Virginia, and he had a lot of family there. So, went to high school and college and whatnot in Virginia.
You say he was in the Navy, or?
Yeah, he was in the Navy. Yep.
Very cool. And you didn't think about joining? Was that something that he stressed, or anybody stressed on you?
Nah, nobody stressed it. I thought about it. Living in Virginia Beach, coming out of high school, going into college, you get a lot of friends that take that path. And I thought about it, like I thought about the Navy and maybe the Air Force, but I was just too interested in music, or just wanting to do my own thing, kind of, and not just go into the system like that. My pops was, I think he was 16 or 17 when he joined the military.
Wow.
Forged his papers and everything. You know what I mean, my bad, Dad. Lose your pension. But yeah, so I thought about it, but I didn't.
Yeah, you have brothers and sisters?
No, I'm the only child.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you was lucky one, huh?
I guess you could say that. My mom was spoiled though. She got everything. I was.
What? How's your mom spoiled? She got everything.
No, my dad drives the Hyundai, and she drives the
Cadillac.
Benz. Yeah,
oh, the Benz.
That's how it was. And then I can get like the
whatever hand-me-downs.
Right.
That your dad don't want to drive no more.
Right. Actually, I've never inherited a car from my dad.
No.
I bought my first car. I bought every vehicle. I bought my first car when I was 16. It was it was a 91 Eldorado. Missed that car, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was a nice ride.
Oh yeah, the two-door coupe.
So was your dad tough on you? Does him being a military parent?
Nah, he really wasn't. He did stress like the discipline as far as like routine, but I think compared to some of my friends' parents, my friends' fathers, he wasn't.
No. Because you had this calm demeanor, like you got it under control, and that's that cool, calm, collected military type.
I think my dad's the same way. I think my dad, he just tries to get it done, and he tries to prioritize stuff, and then and a lot of stuff rolls off his shoulders. I think I inherit that from him as well. At least I try my best to.
Right. Yeah. Did your mom get you involved in activities around the base, around military?
Not really, not at all, man. My mom
activities.
Nah, my mom she dropped out of school in like 6th grade or something like that. She's from Po-Og, Cebu City, and she had several brothers, only girl, and they all dropped out of school so they can just feed the family,
Sure.
Earn a peso, spend a peso type of thing. That was their life. And so saying that to say, when she came out over here, her idea of the American dream was be a doctor or a lawyer.
Okay.
So there wasn't anything like like in the Philippines, they didn't have after school activities and like join a league and then do all of this stuff. That was foreign to her. You know what I'm saying? It was just about living and surviving. So in saying that, because she didn't go through that or had people in the community or in her village that went through that, she didn't really put that on me.
So what you do with your time out of school? Different when you were not in school, like after 3 o'clock or whatever school time is.
Man, I wrote rhymes. I played video games and did what every other teenager would probably do. Just find something to get into, go to the beach. I went to the beach a lot, Just anything a teenager would do, trying to find some trouble to get into. Trying to find some fun to get into, really. Because
now being a military kid, you're around different types of families from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of exposure on other types of lifestyles.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because I was the only kid, I would want to go to my friend's house. You know what I'm saying? Like, And yeah, you know, I have a Filipino friend, a lot of Filipino friends, a lot of black friends, Mexican friends, Puerto Rican friends. Like, moms be cooking, so I'm like, what's your mom cooking today? You know, or what y'all got going on? Oh, y'all hooping? Oh, y'all playing games? So I had to hoop and I had to play games. You know what I'm saying? Video games. I had to be nice in Street Fighter and Madden. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my hustle. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, growing up in the in military community and lifestyle, you do get exposed to a lot of different walks of life and backgrounds. Yeah, very interesting.
Very cool. So tell me about, or tell us about your first memory related to music and rhymes or creativity. What was that moment like? What was going on? Or did your parents listen to a lot of music? Or
my mom listened to. My dad didn't really listen to a lot of music. My mom really listened to, like, you know, Nat King Cole and like Perry Como and, you know, a lot of that karaoke stuff. You know what I'm saying? Karaoke gang was on point. My first exposure though to music, or like wanting to hear myself, was my family. My mom's brothers and her family back home in the Philippines used to send tapes, like karaoke tapes, and it would just be like all of them talking, saying hi with crazy reverb on it, right? And they would just be talking, saying hi, we love you, blase, blah, this and that. And she would interpret the tapes for me, because I didn't, I don't speak Tagalog or Visayas. And then every once in a while they'll jump into song. It was like a musical on the tape.
What?
Yeah. There's still some songs I remember from those tapes.
Yeah.
Like Don't Chase a Moonbee, My Way, Frank Sinatra, a lot of songs. And that was my first, time being exposed to that. And I was like, man, my uncles can really sing. Like, my auntie can sing. Like, and I wanted to hear my voice in it. So one day I stole her tape recorder, and then I was like telling jokes on the recorder to myself, like doing like Eddie Murphy Raw to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I wanted to hear my voice. But I mean, aside from that though, I think it was probably like first or second grade. I think I wrote a rap because like I heard on the radio on 103 Jams or something like that. And then I wrote a rap in first or second grade that accompanied a drawing or something like that. I think it was I was on that, like fucking Transformers, but with the animals. I swear I was on that way before they was, bro. I drew this armadillo, right? Because you know how they can like roll up. They got the pine cone thing.
Yeah.
Like I had like imagined him like he rolled up and his pine cones come out. Then when he jumps up, he has a rocket pack, but he can shoot the pine cones at you. I drew it, right, and then I wrote a rap about it. And this was like first or second grade, And yeah, so that was it.
That was cool.
It was pretty cool.
For a first, second grader, yeah, that's cool.
Like cheesy.
Yeah.
I wish I had it still.
So, a friend of mine, I was asking about backgrounds because when I was in high school, I had a Vietnamese friend, and there weren't too many ethnic cultures in Oregon at that time when I was there, and so I always loved going to his house because the food they ate, you'd never get it nowhere else. Like that was just some real cool stuff. But I do remember that that's one way of sending letters is recording it on a tape. Yeah, so you can hear the voice of the person, and you send it to whoever. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It's very distinct too, because I remember, some of my family had passed away because that was when I was a kid, and I didn't go back to the Philippines until like maybe 20 years later, maybe a long time later,
right?
For the first time, and everybody's crying, what I'm saying, we all seeing each other and stuff like that. But when one of my uncles or my grandpas said hello and he started talking to me, I was like, yo, you're the one from the tape.
Like meeting a celebrity.
Right, it was.
You're the guy from that tape.
It was, man. It was very special, man. It was ill that we, I still don't speak the language, and we had this big party in the mountains. I spent like $10 and bought 100 cases of San Miguel. And we went up there, and all we can do was like just laugh and joke and karaoke to kind of like bond. And so I sung me and him. He was like, Mikey, do you want to duet with me? I was like, what? You want to duet?
You want to do it?
Like, what are you asking me? Like, you want to do it? Oh, you want to duet? I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah. What you want to do? He's like, let's do My Way, and we did the My Way joint together. You know what I'm saying? One of the first songs I ever heard my family do. So that was very special. And he ended up passing away like 2 years ago. So special moment. Yeah. Good memories.
So, so you're first, second grade, you're drawing Dinobots or
Yes.
and then and writing rhymes and the tapes. And does that start you off into? Because I'm like a technology addict.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have old school boom boxes and then current iPads and technology stuff. And so that's because I didn't have it as a kid. So now that I'm an adult and I can afford it, it's like I want what I wanted back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I want to get it now. But since you're an only child and that's part of your or what attracted you was the music and what you became. Did it start you off? In those days where you looking to collect tapes, music, and feed your creativity that way, or what was it? What happened?
I can't really say that necessarily because, I only had access to what my mom had, like the CDs and the tapes that she had, and we had a home stereo. It wasn't until I was able to get like kind of mobile with it in the sense like I was a little older and I was actually able to buy tapes. Like I had money to go buy tapes, so my pops would take me to the exchange and I go buy like, Murder Was the Case and all these old tapes and finally a little boombox, and then my partners had a little boombox and we go hoop, so then I found out you can record off the radio. And so especially like living in Vallejo, they had KMEL and Sway was on KMEL. They used to play the jams. They was like, looking back at it, they was giving you the exclusives really from all over the world. You know what I'm saying? New stuff. And so that was my way to feed myself, was to record the radio. And because the stock was limited at the exchange.
Right.
But they still got some things in though, so that's why I was able to get on the Scarface. I was even able to get onto the Miami bass movement and everything they were doing with like 2 Live Crew and stuff like that. So I'm like the little kid that got like 2 Live Crew tapes. And at the party like, yo, play this.
Right. So when did you really have a lot more influence? Was it when you finally settled in Virginia Beach? Did you have more musical influences? Did you have more access to more music?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was when I first started rapping in Vallejo. My boy showed me how to freestyle. He taught me what a freestyle was, and then we just went in and we was making our own tapes. At that time, we had a little double deck thing, so we had the beat, play the record, and then that was the way we freestyled. We recorded because it had the onboard mic, and then I figured out you could take that tape, put that tape, then get a new tape, and then record that and do ad libs, and then like host your own tape. So we was going in.
Host your own tape, right? Okay.
Yeah, and then so after that, that's when it was like, yo, I could do cool stuff with music and then like technology. So then when my father retired, we was in Virginia Beach. Then I had more access to music, and also I was exposed to different style, really, because I was into like one of my first tapes was like Poor Righteous Teachers and Black Sheep was probably like the tape that had the most influence on me. But for the most part, I was into West Coast music and Bay Area stuff, and then when I moved to Virginia, I was exposed to like Mobb Deep and all of that, and lyricism, and just there was a big growth and shift in music around that time. And and I was making tapes. I was making mixtapes with tapes. I would do the start and stop, pause. I'd slice the tape. I'd do stuff like that. So it was really just a creative, having access to the music, and then having friends that was into it a little more in Virginia, and having that technology, to kind of do stuff creative. That's
So growing up in high school, are you you're doing it for yourself, but are you starting to like produce house parties or do events, or did you think about yourself as something that you wanted to do in the music business?
I didn't really think about the business side. Well, I sold we made like little demo tapes when I was like 15, and I would sell the tapes because I still had my mom's recorder from when I was a little kid, and I would play. The school had a big fat speaker on it, so I played on the bus. We freestyle, we play it, we'd make records to singles that came out. When the maxi single came out, you buy the single and had the instrumental on the other side, so we'd make like little tapes and we'd sell them. So I had the hustler spirit, what I'm saying, but I didn't think about it as an industry. And of course, as a kid, you got the dream to try to get on and get signed. So I was in a group, I was in a rap group.
So you did join a group?
Yeah, we formed a group. It was called Vigilantes, and we did some good things, man, out in Virginia. We put a couple tapes out, and we was at a studio, legendary studio, in my opinion, maybe in a lot of other people's as well. It was a studio called Third Eye Productions, Joe City, Pete Twist, Knott's Roy used to come through there. DMP used to come through there.
Mm-hmm.
All of my heroes that was like local cats, these was my heroes. I looked up to them because they was from where we was from, but they was putting stuff out. And in our eyes, they was the shit. You know what I'm saying? And they was nice. You know what I'm saying? They still are. So from that standpoint, we wanted that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wanted to have a tape out. We wanted somebody behind us. We wanted somebody to say, yo, these guys was dope. And we went to the studio for a while, but then after a few years, we was like, yo, let's just do it on our own. And that's when we got like loans or whatever, and got studio equipment and just had it in the crib, and we would just record.
Got serious with it.
Yeah, we got serious with it, and it was like, yo, and it's the thing, like, growing up in Vallejo and coming up with from music in Vallejo, like, I was on to the hustle. I was on to like, JT the Bigger Figure, Mac Mall, Mac Dre, E40, Charlie Hustle. They talking about like, yo, you ain't got to do this, which I wasn't doing. I wasn't into the streets like that, like crazy. But they were saying like, yo, we found a legal hustle doing music, and this is how you do it. So I always had that mindset. I'm the one that came with that and was like, yo, we can do it like this. And then you hear the stories about what they was doing in Texas and Rap a Lot and UGK selling stuff out the trunk and just getting it independently. So yeah, we started the studio at the crib. We would burn CDs on the tower, on the HP tower. Burnt like 3,000 of them. Sold all of them.
Nice.
Made our own T-shirts. We had a site. It was like vigilantes.com. We had a forum. People would battle in the forums.
What?
And this was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
So
where can we find that music right now?
You gotta hit me up. Email me, MicxSic@savagefam.com. I got it. I'll send it to you. It's not online though, but yeah.
You have MP3s of it? MP3s?
Yeah.
Okay,
I got every joint, man. Shout out my cousin, man, Rolly Fingers, man. He got everything. Like, he has everything. Like, I didn't even have it. And then we got in a message chat one day, a group message with all the homies. He was like, yo, I got this. And he started hitting us with zips. And he started showing us pictures of the tapes. He got the old white tape. You know what I'm saying? We used to go by Mayhem. You know what I'm saying? When we was doing the demos on the box. He had those. He zipped up everything digital. Yeah. So I got all of that, man, now.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not online. You got to hit me up.
Yeah. You got to do a personal connect to get that.
Right.
So that's cool. So it started to be a real, like, you were in the music business. No matter what level, you were actually doing business. Right. And then you decided to go to college. Were you planning on going to college? What was your thoughts for your future and what you were going to do?
It's weird because, like, after my junior year, is when I was really, most of my friends were older than me, you know what I'm saying? And so, in my junior year, after my junior year, senior year, all my friends did whatever they was not in school, at my school. And it was really just me. I had my whip, and I worked, but not like talking about my teacher, who was, I forget what class it was, like graphic design or something like that. He was like, yo, make my logo for my restaurant and I'll pass you for the whole year. I was like, hell yeah. So I made the logo, and I only had one class, and that class ended at like 10 a.m. So every day after 10 a.m. it was just me out. So I'd roll Virginia Beach. I'd be going to other schools, pulling up, going, you know what I'm saying, just messing around. So I wasn't really focused on like, okay, it's about to be my senior year. It is my senior year. School's gonna be over. Do I go to college? I didn't take SATs. I didn't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? My parents didn't really push that on me. I wasn't really, my hand wasn't really guided like that. So around that time was when I was like, well, maybe I could do the military. Like, no, we doing good with this music. This is cool. Maybe I want to try this. And around that time, that's when we was, we wasn't quite doing the independent stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't really think about the future too tough. Too tough. Yeah. Right. But I eventually did go to college because I had to do something. So actually, that next semester, or as soon as I got out of high school, I did go to college. That following fall.
What was
but it was all general studies.
Yeah. You just went because people were going to college after high school.
Right, and I went to a community college. My pops was like, you got to go to college. But it's still like aimless, like general studies. I'm there messing around, like messing with girls. Like, it's just a continuation, but like, oh, okay, there's some older joints in here. You know what I mean? Or, just not really focused, man, when I look back at it. It's just, that's what I was doing, but I was still doing music. And then I was a guy that was selling the bootlegs, selling the CDs. Like, I pull up to school. I've had the sleeve of DVDs and everything. I ripped that, I was an early adopter of the internet and what you can do and what you can hustle. So it was like school was a hustle. You know what I'm saying? I eventually found a little focus, and I went to school for theater and technical theater, lighting and stuff like that. Okay. And then we still continued to do music. So I worked, went to school, and made music. And I was the engineer, I was the recorder, I was the writer, I was the duplicator. You know what I'm saying? I put that HP tower to work. For real. And eventually, I changed career paths as far as school. When I stopped going for theater or whatever, I could have went to, I think I was looking at Radford University or something like that. But I was like, nah, I want to do something more serious with music. So I was like, yo, I'm going to go to the LA recording school, LA film school. And I made that move to LA to kind of do that, to pursue that.
Okay.
So that was like that next step in trying to take it serious.
Right. So did all of this, during this whole period, did you see yourself growing into a full record label and trying to sign other people, or was it mostly focused on yourself and having fun?
Well, with Savage Fam and Savage Fam Productions, and this is, before I left LA and all that at that time when I was in school, working, hustling, whatever, with music, that all just started with just me and my boys. My boy might have said Savage Fam on a record. Like, he just like screaming and shit, like, oh, that shit was hard. That's gonna be what we doing, And, that's like me, Vigilantes, my partner Darkitect, Splatterhouse. And they were DJs. They were like hard house jungle DJs. They're the ones that showed me. They had Gold Wave. They had like the free version of Gold Wave that you can use up until a certain point, and then you had to close it and reopen it. So they was like looping beats and stuff like that. So I would go to their crib and they had all the beats. You know what I'm saying? So really, man, Savage Fam Productions like started with, friends with a dream. You know what I'm saying? They're just making music. And it just turned into something more once we took it serious, started doing it independently or whatever. And to answer your question, like, we didn't really, it was about all of us. We had Vigilantes. It was a group. There was 4 of us, and then there was 3 of us, and then there was only 2 of us, but we kept it moving. And then, Splatterhouse dropped tapes. They on wax, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would host a wax, Domestic Disturbance was one of the group names they was under. So it was really just us representing one thing and one idea, one central idea. You know what I'm saying? And one thing versus trying to sign people. We did put out a CD. I'm gonna say in conjunction with my boy Blood Diggy. Shout out to him. He lives in Seattle or in Washington State. But that was really just us being friends and just kind of following suit on game of what we was doing. Like, my first solo CD was an enhanced CD. Nobody was putting out enhanced CDs. It came with a video. And some bonus tracks, like if you put it in your computer.
Okay.
Hindsight, I should have put the video on YouTube, because that's when YouTube was just popping. And I had like UFC knockouts in the joint, synced to the music. I would probably have like 100 million views right now.
Yeah.
Probably got flagged 100 times as well, but I should have.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, we wasn't really signing people like that. We was just trying to focus on us and do what we had to do. And then, a lot of the close homies was putting out music, so we was like, hey, why don't you do it like we doing it, man? Like, you can, here, use this resource to get your CDs duplicated. You ain't gotta, burn CDs on your HP tower. This is what I did. This is where I got my graphics from. This is what I did. Boom, boom, boom. It's like, all right, cool. And then we started making waves doing that, putting the tapes out as solo artists as well. So, we had a little wave going with that. But it was never like, LLC, get list, business loans, boom, boom, boom. Let's sign these artists and let's take over like Cash Money for the 99 and 2000. It wasn't even like that.
Okay. So the move to Cali was for yourself and for college?
Yeah, that move was for myself too, man, because, at that time, that was when like the group had really broke up. There was like some friction and tension between, because like I said, we went from 3 to 2 to solo. And I just felt like I had to get out of Virginia. It was like one of those things, like, I'm older now. Oh, I gotta get out of here. So yeah, I just, it was me and then Splatterhouse, DJ Splatterhouse. We both went to LA recording school, LA film school together. And that was more of a personal thing than anything, really. It was like, I'm gonna pursue music. I want to take this serious, so I feel like I gotta go to school for it and do this and that. Probably the biggest mistake in my life is going to school. I should have never did that, because they wanted to teach you what I already knew, what I'd been doing. I know I could have taught some people some things. I could have taught some kids some stuff there.
I was thinking that because if you start with what you had when you were a kid, and as you grow older, you start acquiring technology, you start acquiring equipment. You're learning along the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was engineering, I was mixing, I was mastering, I was buying outboard gear. I was in the forums, just talking to people. That's why, like, now, man, like, I don't think you should go to a recording school. There's a lot of schools you probably shouldn't go to. I'd encourage artists and musicians or whatever artists to just find a mentor, or if you got some money, first find a good person to invest in that can be a mentor and just do that, and then just hit up YouTube University, man. Just put the time in, because I messed up because I was gauging my life and my, the lack of, I don't even know how to say it, like where I'm at in my life, comparing it to where other people were at in their lives. That were kind of outside my circle. But that was the thing. I looked at my circle. I was like, man, we just fucking up. We just doing whatever in the street. But I'm looking at, friends going to college. Like at that time, it was like, man, they done went to high school, went to college. Now they got a bachelor. They can go get some money. Like I'm over here working at Bank of America, doing that, going to school and trying to make music. So I'm like, man, I got to take it more serious. I need the education to do it. So let me go get an education in audio engineering. Dumbest thought process. Nobody stopped me. You know what I'm saying? But, so I thought I'd go there and they was going to teach me black magic. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought like they would teach me black magic and I was going to be able to sit in these chairs and mix these records. But the thing is, with audio engineering and the audio business, the people that sit in these chairs, they're going to die in these chairs. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not like the film industry, or it's not like other industries where it's like you get taught, or like being a doctor, you get taught a certain skill set, and as a doctor, you can take that anywhere in the world, and these hospitals need people like you know what I'm saying? A studio, all they need is one engineer, two engineers maybe. So you can be interning for life. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, so
what's it really take then? It really takes a good ear?
Yeah.
A good ear to understand the sounds and what sounds good together?
As I get older, it's because I want to answer it, kind of specifically.
Sure.
Like, as an engineer, I don't even think, myself, I don't think I'm the best. My ear is the best. I'm more of a creative engineer than a technical engineer.
Okay.
In essence, though, yeah, to answer your question, you do have to have an ear. You have to understand frequency, of course, you know what I'm saying, which I do. You have to, know what you're doing. But then that can leak into the final product. And some people are more technical, some people are more creative. Like I said, I'm more creative. But you have to have an ear. You have to be creative. You know what I'm saying? You have to either have a vision or understand the artist or producer's vision and be able to get to it. A lot of times engineering is just knowing what to reach, is really understanding signal flow, first of all, just like a regular engineer, but knowing what to reach for when you want to achieve something. So if they're like, yeah, I want to go like this, then it drops out and it gets real quiet, like the air sucked out of the room, then it just explodes and all the music just comes in. But I want it to sound in your face and then sound really distant. So that means you have to do some type of, blah, blah, blah to make that happen. And you're only going to get that from experience and just learning.
Okay. Somewhere Atlanta gets into the picture.
Yeah.
Or you go back to Virginia.
So I ended up leaving LA to go back to Virginia because jobs were scarce or whatever. And my family was out there. So I was like, man, I'll just go back to Virginia. Went to Virginia and just lived a normal life. I took a little bit with me, from out there as far as putting on events, because I did put on a few shows out there. So that was the first time we actually did like the Norva and some of the bigger spots in Virginia. So I was out there for a few years, but eventually my pops had got a raise, and he works for Norfolk Southern, and they was like, yo, you got a raise, you're going to Atlanta. So then he was like, yo, do you want to come with us to Atlanta, or what you gonna do? So I could either stay in Virginia, go back to LA, or go to Atlanta. So I was like, I'll just go to Atlanta. And that's how I got to Atlanta.
That's how you came down here. And when was that? How long ago was that?
That was maybe 5 years ago, 5.5 maybe.
Oh yeah, just short time.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, as soon as I got here though, we went to the Philippines, and that was the first time I went back to the Philippines, and we was there for a little bit and came back, and as soon as I got here, that's when I started like bar exam and all that stuff. Yeah.
And where did that idea come from? Because you were doing events already, so where's the bar exam, the Freestyle Experiment, all that stuff come from? Where?
So the shows I was doing before was just for us as a group and as a performer. This was the first time I would do a show that was like a, quote unquote open mic or a showcase or something. I mean, the idea really, like when I first got out here too, I thought that all the performers or all the artists are going to be snapping and trapping, right? Because, I'm just naive as hell, right? So the first place I went to something at 595, I think it was I Do Music. And then I went to Apache, and the artist there wasn't on that wave. There was a couple, but there was cats that can really spit. And I went to a couple more shows, and then I noticed there was a lot of artists on stage rapping with their crew on stage, and there's more people on stage than in the audience, and they was trash, right? And so I was just like, yo, somebody needs to tell them about themselves. You know what I'm saying? And it should be their friends. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? But I was just thinking, like, that's why I was like, yo, the bar exam could be a showcase in a competition where there's one rule. You pass the bar, pass the mic. Like, we're going to be your best friends. You know what I'm saying? You can't have hype man on stage with you. You can't do that. Right. And so it's like, and it's not up to me. You know, it's up to the people. Because at the end of the day, all artists need is the people. You don't have to impress the industry. You don't have to impress people because they'll buy into you. You know, so it's like, you pass the bar, you got them, you good. You know what I'm saying? We're not your yes men. We're not here to, you know.
Right. So I imagine the word bar comes from the bars that you rhyme in a song, right?
Right.
That's the bars.
Right. Yeah,
and you had the experience because you have like books at home of rhymes that you've written a million times over.
Of course. I don't really write though like too tough, honestly.
No?
Yeah, like I sit there forever like this until like that. I come up with what I want to say. Because my process is like I try to say the truest thing I can, and it usually starts with the first line. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll just, if it doesn't hit me, I either write really fast, or it takes me forever to write something. But at the end of the day though, like the whole bar exam thing, it's really just about artists that got something to say. You know, if you ain't got something to say, you know, there's lanes for everything. But like, you know, that's what we're looking at. Are you connecting with people? Do you have something to say?
So I've been with you in the Freestyle Experiment, and that's mostly open mic type of thing.
Right. So I started that because one, I tried to do like an open mic segment of the showcase in the beginning and do the bar exam, but it was just too much to do. So I was like, let me just do another show where it's like you don't got to register. You know, it's less pressure. You can just come through, you show up. But I wanted to make sure it was different. And what they already had at Apache, you know, from the days of Mic Club and True School, was they had the band. So like Mark Mays is the same guy from back then. They had the whole experimental open mic type of thing. It fell off. They did something else, and then they tried to bring it back. And when they tried to bring it back, you know, it was kind of dead. And I used to host it for like $50. I used to go in there and host it for like $40, $50 and get a couple drinks, and that was it. But I had fun doing it. Like that was like my outlet and my release. And then, you know, eventually they was like, hey, do you want to, you know, we need 100 people. I'm like, well, if you need 100 people, I'm not hosting now, I'm promoting, so it has to be something different. And long story short, though, it was a good opportunity because I wanted to do a spinoff anyway, a bar exam, but I wanted to do something different. And so then, yeah, it used to be called a Sound and Lyrics Experiment. Okay. And then I, you know, positioned it in such a way it was like the Freestyle Experiment, live in the moment, Sound and Lyrics, open mic, the Freestyle Experiment. I would do first and third Tuesdays, and then once we got it rolling and Tuesdays was cracking, then I threw the live. And now there's different hosts, different Tuesdays with different vibes. But it's still Sound and Lyrics with the band, experimental open mic. Okay.
So the bar exam is more about, you kind of have to have more experience when you get on the mic, when you get up on stage, because we're really dissecting the stuff you say.
I mean, yeah, in so many words, but at the same time, too, man, winning isn't everything, though. It's really a matter of showing up, too, because not only is it a good experience in networking, it's a good experience for artists that might just be trying to come up, because at the end of the day, like, you know, I'm an MC myself, and I don't want to, like, peg myself as a critic or, like, my word is bond, you know. At the end of the day, I just want to see artists be the best artists they can be. So if you nice like that, you don't need no advice, come through, flex, body it, win, cool. But a lot of artists do need the development. So even when they don't win, they get a lot to take. They have a lot to take away from with the advice they get from the judges, from myself, and from the audience as well, you know.
Cool. So where can we find you on social medias?
I'm on social media, MicxSic. That's MicxSic on all social media, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, everything. MicxSic.
So everything is MicxSic.
MicxSic.
Even the YouTube that we've been talking about recently.
Yeah, well, so I got MicxSic. I don't know. I might change it. I might change it to Renaissance Hustler. I don't know what I want to do. But the main YouTube I'll be pushing is the Bar Exam Network.
The Bar Exam.
And that's, you know, that's from the Bar Exam. But what I want to do with the Bar Exam Network is just really, you know, diving in and just dissecting the whole bar experience, like what you got to say, you know. So we're gonna be talking about everything from like if somebody drops a record, if Jay drops a record with Nas, we're gonna do a debate video, who had the better verse, so we gonna break down the bars and stuff like that. We're gonna examine the bars, you know, 16s, kind of like Genius meets whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so we'll be going in with a lot of content with the whole pass the bar, pass the mic thing we do at the bar exam. We're gonna do videos for that as well and make it beyond the four walls of Apache, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we just want to get exposure. It's about opportunity on the stage and beyond it.
Yeah, so beyond the stage, right?
Yeah, we want to put it out there like, yo, pass the bar, pass the mic. They'll be in Atlanta, but yo, what y'all think in Poland? What y'all think in France or whatever? So that's the vision.
Nice. So if you had some advice for your younger self, At any point in your career, what would you say? What would be some of your...
I would have never went to LA. No, I would have never went to school for it. I would have said just keep doing what you was doing and don't judge your life based on the expectations of your life or where you're at in life based around the people around you. You know, like I said, they was getting degrees and stuff like that, and that's cool. You know, I was judging myself like, damn, I'm their same age and I don't have a degree. I'm still running around out here in the street making music, working and going to school part-time, not knowing what the hell I want to do. So I put unnecessary pressure on myself. When I was early on, recording, mixing, mastering, engineering, writing dope stuff, throwing shows, we was printing shirts, we had online forums, like we was ahead of the curve in that. And then I try to analyze myself based on the people around me. It's a mistake, you know. So my advice is, man, just do you, and be smart about it too. You know, the thing I think with music, there's only a few ways you can get paid, and just in any industry and in any passion, understand where the money comes from, and if you know, then you just got to figure out how to get to it. You know, if you don't take the time to do that, but you keep doing it and you mad you broke, you messed up because you didn't say, well, how do I get money from this? You know what I'm saying? So my advice to myself, again, is just keep doing what you do, follow your heart, and just get to the money.